Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. I think we're live. I hit the thing, but it doesn't make the sound anymore, so I don't know what the deal is there. Just give me a minute here while I try to mute our broadcast. There we go. And we are going to put on the comments here. Okay, so we did title this feed Armada Games Reveal. They are Michael Fortino from Armada Games is going to be hopping on at some point tonight to reveal something live on the show. He didn't tell me what it is, so it's a reveal to me as well. So I'm just as excited about it as you are. But in the meantime, and for however long it takes, we are going to paint. So you guys are gonna, you guys get such a rare treat to hang out with me and paint and see what we can do. And yeah, and you can watch me clean my desk here for a couple of minutes, just for a couple, not too long, just a couple of minutes, just clearing some crud off of my desk here before we do a little bit of painting. And I'll show you what's on my painting table right now before we really kick off this show. I mean, besides the crud that I just wiped off, because there's a lot of crud on the show. Okay, so so Michael will give me he'll give me a heads up when he's ready. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and clean up our painting desk and show you what I've been working on and what we can expect tonight. Okay, so we got some miniature very close to the camera right now, but first I want to show off these because I think they're cool. So we're gonna switch sides here, and we're gonna look at this side of the board. So first up, here's some miniatures that I just primered. These are this is the Dandy Starship unique radiant unit for Relic Knights, and these are part of their new resin line. They're absolutely gorgeous miniatures, and I am really looking forward to getting some paint on these because I think they're going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, just really looking forward to paint. The jump in quality for Relic Knights has just been amazing. And to be honest with you guys, I've been playing so much Guild Ball lately that I wanted to pick up another classic, or I should say a staple game for me, and that's definitely playing Relic Knights before Guild Ball. I will continue to play Relic Knights because I love the theme so much. I really do think it's a good skirmish game. Like one of the better skirmish games because of the card mechanic, because that it's not, just trying to remove miniatures from the board. You actually there's a lot of tactics and strategy involved in Relic Knights, and it's not so much list building because there's good units and there's units that are good for what you want to do and a good configurations of units. So there's still that, but it's not like a lot of other games where it feels like the list building really kind of takes over a lot of the gameplay aspects. Okay, so anyways, so I primed those. We're not working on those tonight. We're not working on this lone Guild Ball tonight, so I'll get rid of that. Guild Ball tonight, huh? Get it? That's a podcast. We're not working on these awesome things, which these are a couple of Takahashi University miniatures that I have never worked on, that I did not own until very recently. And I'm excited to paint these. You can see I've done a little bit of work on them, and I'll continue to work on these at some point. This is a totally for fun project for me, just because I think sculpts are amazing. Whoa. Love it if it could actually focus in there. I don't know what it is, but on camera, it's like I painted their eyes so dark that it's like they're like heroin addicts. But anyways, this is Teacher's Pet, and that blue ink glaze. So I haven't really started there. You can see I've been working on the flesh, been working on the face. Still have some stuff to clean up there and make that face look better than it is, because it's a fantastic sculpt. And then this is Maid Service. Absolutely love this miniature. Very, very cool. Very, very cool miniature. She kind of has like she looks like Exorcist right now, because her skin isn't quite done, and so she's looking a little terrifying right now. But yeah, you can tell it's a really fun sculpt. Yeah. Uh-oh, what's up? Tech question here. Would you like to retry? Yes. Yeah.
I already checked it.
Let's try restarting it.
Sorry.
It's okay. Let's shut that off. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the feed, Adam. I'm doing a little troubleshooting on our kid's tablet here. All right, let's turn it back on. Need that? No. I need that. I should take that, actually. Okay.
I'm just checking what it was. Yeah.
All right.
What is this?
Let's try that.
I think you broke it.
Do you know how to get to YouTube from there?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
I'm just gonna wait.
And just hang out for a minute. Okay. So,
Okay.
oh, it's fine. So we're not going to work on that tonight. These are some Guild Ball brewers that I recently started. So this team, when they're done, probably a couple more nights painting these will end up on the eBay. You're laughing at my comments?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's my wife laughing at my broadcasting skills. Stave here is really fun.
You called it
the eBay. Like, look, see, he's like chucking a beer. It's fantastic. Like, what kind of tartan work I'm gonna do on these? It's that's real. Is it working?
I don't know. Yes.
Here.
I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. Here is a Spigot. Really have just barely started working on these, so there's not a whole lot. Looks like my a little bit choppy. You know, guys, if the stream is not going so well, I may have to reset Armada. I may have the other room and a little bit to try to get a better connection out of this. Are we still we're still working, right? We're still okay. Let me know if the feed is okay. But we're not working on the Brewers tonight because super fun team. And I should have fun. I expect to have a lot more fun painting those before I put them on the eBay, as my wife is going to laugh at me for saying. And I'm going to try to just get us down to the bare bones job that we're painting tonight. Here's a couple more. Friday. Fun. I like this this kind of inorganic yellow. It's real like fiery looking. Pretty cool. And they're on cobblestone bases, so I'll paint in and do some work on the cobblestone bases. Here's Scum the cat. Fun kitty. She also catchers. Let's grab my brushes. Where's my cat? Down here. This is also part of the problem. Cat's decided. No. You don't get to go there. Cat's like going underneath the. If you don't want to be in here, let me let you out. Come on. Hold on. I'll let my cat. No, just kidding. You want to be part of the show? Okay. Here is Esters. Very, very fun sculpt. Love Esters. Love Esters. These are basically a one-piece sculpt, except she's got these. You get all the models have these little like beer on them, but they're fun. These are really, really fun models. And again, I've never really done tartan before, so I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm not really sure how it's gonna look, but I'm excited to paint it. And you know what? If it doesn't look great, it's on eBay. People can buy it. Maybe they'll get a good deal on it. I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of which, I do have my Butcher's team currently on eBay with the idea that I'm going to redo that team for myself. So if you're looking for a Butcher's team, this might be a good night for it. Hey, what's up, Solvent? Hey, what's up, man? Dread Lun hopping on the feed. This must be a weird hour for you, man. How's it going? It's got to be like really, really early in the morning for you. Appreciate you hopping on, though. We're going to do some, like I said, we're going to do some painting tonight. Armada Games, Michael Fortino from Armada Games is scheduled to be on. Let me show you what I'm working on tonight because it's going to be awesome. I think it's super fun. Here is this guy here is the it's too hot to sleep. I hear you. It's summer and it's very hot. This is the limited edition Flint from Guild Ball. So you can see he's got, he's really cool looking. This is a resin miniature. I've been doing some work on the skin and started to do a little bit of work on the armor. And yeah, it should be fun. All right, so let's put him. Oh, why's that stuck on there? Whoa. Oh, man. Luckily, we're only working on like the one miniature tonight, so I can take my time a little bit. So I'm going to stick him on one of these. You guys know how it goes. And then we'll get to the painting. I'm actually going to switch the camera angle so that we're okay. So there we go. All right. So I'm going to paint him in my traditional Mason's color scheme, which means it's weird. I go there on his flesh. May have to fix that a little bit. See how it's like shiny? His flesh is like weird looking right there. In fact, before we even move on, let's fix that because that's weird looking. So what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a really, really thin coat of, let's do like a basic skin tone or something, just to kind of blend all that together. And we'll just go super thin. So the idea is just a thin coat of basic skin tone on there, just to blend, and then hopefully it'll dry nice and flat, which it should. But I'm not going to use glaze medium for this because even though I do want it super, super thin, I want it to be like flat in sheen. And when you use glaze medium, it usually does impart a little bit of sheen, or you could actually make it, you can force glaze medium to put a little bit more sheen down. But in this case, we want a super, super thin layer to kind of blend all these areas together. Just on the arm, really. It's just that spot there. It just looks weird. It looks a little too, I know, it almost looks like a little bit like a scab or something. Like his arm is like a giant scab. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint that in. And this is such a thin layer that it should still It should blend everything in without leaving too hard of a line. Should look nice and soft by the time we're done. So I actually have a little bit of a mold line in there. His flesh doesn't look shiny. Should be. All right. So there. So some news. This Saturday is the Guacamole Cup in San Diego. So for you local guys tuning into this show, you're gonna want to check that out. That's at Ease Games in San Diego this Saturday. Sanctioned tournament, 16 players. I believe it's a full tournament. But you know what? Even if you are not in the tournament, I would still recommend showing up, because you could end up on, you could hop on the waiting list and or just pick up friendly games. With this being a full tournament, there's going to be people there that did not get into the tournament but are just looking to play a little bit more Guild Ball. And so I still totally recommend showing up, even if you aren't registered for the tournament, and just try to get in a game of Guild Ball. Icy Sponge, that's Tony hopping on. What's up, man? Welcome to the feed. All right, so I decided I'm just gonna blend in this whole coat, because I don't want his skin looking like super shiny. So there you go. One spot opened up, I believe. Man, I want to go so bad, but my son has there's like a dinosaur show coming to town here in Orange County, so I have to go to that, which should be fun for me and the boy. But there's going to be a part of me that's still a little bit sad that I didn't go play some Guild Ball, because I've run the past I don't know 3, maybe. Did I run 3 or 4 tournaments? I don't remember. But I've run like all the early stuff out here locally, and so with the other 2 pundits, Dave and Callan, I was like, wow, I really want to hop into one of these tournaments and play competitively, try to play and win one of these. But unfortunately, the timing just didn't work out for this one. So anyway, still waiting for Michael to message me as far as when he's hopping on. Yeah, once again, so local stuff. Check out the Guacamole Cup this Saturday at Ease Games. I don't know exactly when they're being there. If you do know, let put it in the chat, and I'll out loud. I would imagine it's got to be like 11 or noon for the start there, because 16 players. That is going to be 4 rounds. That is a full day of Guild Ball. So why not, right? I mean, like I said, I would love to play some Guild Ball, but not in the cards for me. But you guys can go and enjoy. If I'm talking like it's making me really sad, it is. Be there by 11. Good. Thanks, Tony. Yeah, be there by 11. And yeah, I'm curious to see who wins this, because I don't know who's in the playing field. I know Tony in the chat here is apparently a really strong fish player. Obviously, we have Callan, who is a really strong Morticians player. He won the Kingdom Cup a couple of months ago. Then you have Matt Johnson. He's also another really strong fish player. So I'm thinking, for this tournament, and then don't count out a lot of the regulars who play really solid games. Luis Martinez plays second in the Kingdom Cup, and he generally plays pretty well in these in the tournament scene. Then you've got I don't think Leon is going to make it. Leon is a Orange County guy with me. He's another fish player that plays a really strong goal-focused game, because when you're playing Shark, that's what you're playing, which is kind of half true. He also plays some Corsair, so that's cool. I want to see some representation from my fellow Masons players. I think that I was going to go down and represent if I could go. That's for sure. That's who I would be bringing to the tournament. I want to play. I want to play Masons. I want to play good teams. I would probably play Honor Hammer. Now Hammer is like a thorn in people's side, because he's got the one trick. He's so good at the one trick that I don't think the meta has yet adopted consistent strategies of dealing with Hammer. So even though I would say right now he's pretty, he's surging in the competitive field, I don't know. I like Honor's toolkit better. I think the honor-led Masons has the kind of obviously it has the playstyle that I prefer, and it's a good all-around team, obviously. So I cannot find the colors I want to paint here to save my life. Anyway, so we're gonna go with Intense Blue. This is a really rich blue, and it leaves a bit of a sheen, so gotta be careful here. Like, even when you mix it with matte medium, it's still pretty intense color. But this is like this is like the base coat of the Mason, how I paint my Mason uniform. I need some actually more intense blue. So recently we had up in the LA area. We can expect to see more from them. Major convention coming up is San Diego Comic. So Comic-Con people today, we're going to be doing Guild Ball, mostly demos up there, just teaching people how to play. What we're doing, if we're doing any organized play, I just don't see much of the the regular crowd at Comic-Con. So it might be a little silly to try to schedule something like a 16-player tournament at Comic-Con, unless you had like 16 teams to lend out, because then you could just get people who want to play in a day's tournament. Okay. So anyway, so Guacamole Cup, then San Diego Comic-Con. There may be another event in between those two events, considering we're still at the very, very tip of June, and we really haven't seen. We've only seen a couple of events come from Los Angeles, so we may see some stuff from LA. As for me, locally here in Orange County, this summer is going to be a little difficult for me to set up too many things, mainly because my wife is expecting, and we've got the 2.5-year-old at home, so a lot of my free time in the summer, he's going to be taking up helping out mom and hanging out with my little guy. So that said, though, I mean, I'm still gaming. I'm gaming weekly, just about. It may go down a little bit, but weekly is okay. And we're still playing lots of Guild Ball. We are going to pick up some of the other, like I was showing you guys with the Relic Knights. We may go back and pick up a little bit of the Relic Knights to, just kind of keep everything fresh. Congrats, bro. Thanks, Dread. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, excited. We've got another boy on the way, so that'll happen in October. So we got a little bit of time here, a little bit of time to enjoy a few more games before I'm the double dad. So there's that. Anything else locally that I should point out? Not in terms of Guild Ball. There's, if you guys are looking for other games and other events around games over the summer, go check out the SoCal Tabletop Facebook group, because there's, people are encouraged to post their events there. So, if you wanted to play in a Saga tournament, or if you wanted to play Bolt Action or X-Wing or one of those things at the local stores, that Facebook group is gonna be where you find out where to play. Okay. So we're still waiting for Michael. This may be a while. I'm just gonna paint while we're waiting. I'd been kind of sitting on this flint for a little bit longer than I care to admit, mainly because when I brought him home, I was in the middle of 2 other commissions. So I knocked those out of the way and started the Brewers. And I figured while I'm starting the Brewers and while I'm starting other stuff like Takawashi and stuff, I can give this guy a little bit of love. Super fun model. His eye, I need to clean up his eyes a little bit. His one eye is like way bigger than the other one right now. I can fix that. Now, what I'm going to do with this model, once he's done, he's going to actually replace the current Flint model that I'm using, which is it's a little bittersweet for me. I get a little superstitious with my models. So I scored a lot of goals with that Flint, that very, very first Flint, which is, I believe, the Guild Ball model that I ever painted was that Flint. So I'm going to replace him with this model. And, there may be a style like this model is properly bled into the team, if you know what I mean. When I say bled into the team, I'm talking about he's got a bunch of wounds and a bunch of catcher's mitt. The leather starts to wear and the model starts to get comfortable. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to do a little bit of cosmetic work here around the eye. Get a little black gray. I'm going to deal with that black gray. I just had it. See, I thought I didn't need it because this model doesn't have a whole lot of different colors to him. But that said, I should have at least kept out the colors that I plan on using. Anyway, so we got some local stuff going on. I recently finished the May Painting Challenge, which was fun. And then, let's talk a little bit about what else is going on locally, because you've got some folks that are branching out for local media, and I think that's a good thing. I think when you look at the landscape of podcasts and YouTube channels and so on that feature Guild Ball, there's really nothing from SoCal until there really wasn't until very, very recently. So, in addition to this channel on YouTube, for example, you've got Padocast, right? So that's Callan's YouTube channel. Check it out. It's called Padocast on YouTube. He and Callan is kind of the Guild Ball savant, right? He's just absolutely his brain around the game is very impressive, to say the least. So so check him out. He's doing some breakdowns, some quick breakdowns of models, players in the game that I want to be aware. It's a good, quick, and dirty understand. Some of the models, whether you're playing with them or against on Morticians, which is his league. I guess that I think that's his main team. I'm like, that's his main team. So his information on Morticians is every player is up there. Although I did not see. Wait a minute, take it back. I didn't see Silence, unless he uploaded Silence and it didn't show up in my feed. So there's that. But yeah, check out Padocast on YouTube. And then for websites, you want to check out Icy Sponge. That's Tony's site. He's running. He ran a contest last month for goal design, which is really cool. Gave away an entire engineers team, and I believe he's running another similar contest this month. I forget what the specific entries that he's looking for, but maybe he'll tell me in the chat. Mega clickbait title. Yes, Cameron, you are absolutely right. What's up, man? I got to get people to click on my show. I got to, clickbait is, my clickbait is not as strong as it could be. So I got to get people on the show. Now, see, what I did was I shrunk the other eye to match that eye, and so now it looks like he has like serious guy liner on. If you can make it out. Yeah, looks like he's got like super guy liner on. Oh, we could. So yeah, check out Padocast, check out Icy Sponge, and then for your other website, obviously SoCalGuildBall.com. That's a site that Dave Blood runs. I owe him some articles. I got to put some articles up there. I don't know what I would submit as an article though. I mean, all I can talk about really is Masons and stuff. Or dissertation on why I like snakeskin. Because you shouldn't like snakeskin. According to the internet, you should not like snakeskin. Snakeskin is, and they don't say she's a bad model. They just say that there's a lot of better choices for most teams than snakeskin. That said, I would stress, do not underestimate the fact that snakeskin is one of the best ball clearing models in the Union, straight Union team. And you want to have the ability to clear the ball or keep it safe. Snakeskin is a fantastic option for that. I think snakeskin has some decent anti-fish tech. So you gotta be careful with that this month. I build my Optimus. I'm really looking forward to like a smoke team, because I think a smoke based alchemist team would be pretty sharp. So I'd really be interested in rebuilding my alchemist. I would go with like almost like an all-female type style or type theme for that build. So smoke, calculus, vitriol, and then obviously I like flask with smoke, so I'd run flask in there, and then I don't know. Maybe I would run. I could run snakeskin. I could run hemlock, snakeskin. Forget who else the alchemists can take, but they have. But you can. My point is, you can field an all-female team with alchemists, and I think they would actually be pretty good because you've got, you've got that blind / poison AOE game with calculus and/or hemlock. You've got poison from them, and then you've got like smoke clads, vitriol, flask. Let's see. You think when Blood Bowl is released at the end of the year, it will affect Guild Ball with folks switching to Blood Bowl? Honestly, I think it will only make Guild Ball a stronger game. And let me explain that. So I think that when Blood Bowl comes back, there's going to be this initial surge of players that want to get back into Blood Bowl. And, even I'll come back and play a couple of games of Blood Bowl just to see how it is. I'm not going to have any product from GW, so don't worry. Don't worry, guys. I'm not going to, not that you're worried, but I'll try it out just to see like what rule set did they end up with. It's probably going to be something similar to LRB6 or Competition Rules Pack, whatever they wanted to call it. So you'll see a surge in Blood Bowl players. And frankly, at that point, when you have these people getting into Blood Bowl, there are some inherent frustrations with Blood Bowl that I think Guild Ball does very, very well. So I almost see Guild Ball as being able to poach players from Blood Bowl. So it's an interesting question. I do think that we will see like a temporary lapse in some Guild Ball while people kind of hop over and play some Blood Bowl, but it's going to be necessarily a bad thing. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Looks like Michael, Tim, and that's taken a long time to there. Cool little something. Let's see. There it goes. Okay, so he should be hopping on here in a few minutes. I'm going to continue to paint. So I paint Flint with dark hair, even though his art is he's blonde. I don't know. I dubbed him the John Stamos of Guild Ball, so I go dark hair with him. I think it's more sophisticated. You can see got a little bit of a a lag bomb there. Hopefully I'm coming back in. Okay. Hopefully the camera kicks back. There we go. Camera kicked back on. Hey, Michael, what's up?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Well, it's still evening for me, but good morning.
Oh, yeah. I tend
know
to say good morning all day, so.
Yeah. Well, it is morning for you, right?
Technically, but I don't subscribe to that unless I've fallen asleep and the sun's come up.
Got it. Cool. Well, it looks like our feed is a little bit choppy, but I still see us on screen, so we are still live.
Okay.
So yeah. So for you guys watching, Michael contacted me a couple days ago, and said, "Hey, I want to unveil something on your live feed." So, me not knowing anything about what's going on, I completely agreed to that. I thought it was a cool idea. Why not? As long as it's not breaking any local laws or ordinances, I think we're good. Or YouTube's terms of service.
Yeah, none that I know of.
Okay, cool.
I'm getting that echo back.
Awesome. So yeah, we're all yours whenever you're feeling.
Well, I unfortunately am getting some stuff set up because I got delayed somewhat. So I'm not actually quite ready to show you guys stuff yet, but I will be soon.
No problem. Okay, so in the meantime, what's that?
How are things going out there?
Oh, they're going okay. I'm just painting some flint here, as you can see. We do have a question from Greenleaf Terrain. He's from Fear Men. How about that? I do not. I don't fear. Sorry, Adam. I don't fear the. I don't fear closer to me. I don't fear the people from Washington or from Oregon. If you go even, yeah, I do fear so, and I don't. So I guess it's a complicated question. Overall, though, if you're just going to say generically from the north, I do not fear people from the north. I don't know. And that's about the extent of that answer. But yeah.
Yeah, down here we get visited by so many of them every year that they're kind of like natives here as well.
So are you talking snowbirds? Or
yeah,
snowbirds? Yes, I did not know that was a term until I was in St. Augustine. I was in St. Augustine for work about 5 years ago, and somebody introduced me to that term.
Oh yeah, the roads fill up and the beaches as well.
Mm-hmm. So now Adam is saying, "Son, we ride polar bears." That's not I don't know. I don't think that's a fearful thing. I think I'd be pretty happy to see guys on polar bears. I don't know why. Not really sure.
I mean, as long as they're not running at me, I think I'm fine.
You want to know something sad? Why do when people say polar bears to me, all I could think of is ridiculous Coca-Cola ads for like the polar bear Coke commercials. I don't know why I think of that.
I would definitely be okay with those polar bears.
So yeah, my my Flint here, I paint him with dark hair because he's kind of the Uncle Jesse of the team, you know, of the Full House Mason team.
You're dating yourself, bud.
They did do Fuller House on Netflix, which I think zero people watched. Zero people watched Fuller House.
Fuller.
I think. Yeah, they called it Fuller House. They had, you know, all the kids were grown up. It had Bob Saget in the whole. I don't know. I think they did bring John Stan. I think they brought on. They managed to get them all back. You know, even ones who had prior drug addictions made it back on the show.
I kind of want to go see if this is true, but I'm also horrified that it is or not.
I think you're just going to want to take my word for it that it is.
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do that. No evidence required.
So while you're setting up, I'll make you multitask. You want to tell us anything about how's the local scene going on down there in Florida?
Well, we just had a tournament this past weekend that I unfortunately had to watch because I was but yeah, it was 14 people, and we've actually had the groups in Orlando and Fort Myers, not Fort Myers, Bradenton, across the Bay, and St. Peter actually are growing, and it's actually, you know, though I would love every game to be played at my store, I know that that's not realistic. So,
well, yeah, I mean, if the locals, but it's got to be eventually a win for you, anyways, just because for the mere fact that the scene itself grows. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So technically, everyone in that region is going to win because more players is more players, and you know it'll.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not deluded enough to believe that I'm the only game in town, but you know.
But you were the original game in town, right?
Yeah, we were the first. We were the only game. We were the original game in the States. So
nice.
Still holding on to that one, even though that I know that there's likely hundreds of stores that are carrying Guild Ball now, and kind of know that by, you know, shipping things all over the country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like even out here, it's the stores carry Guild Ball, but it's really sporadic. Like my LGS carries Guild Ball, but according to them, it's been very difficult to restock. So so we managed to chip through almost everything they had, except for, you know, barring some starters and some of the blisters, but they're trying to get everything back in the store.
What do you think? Saying that they have a surplus of Harry the Hats?
They do have all of their no. Phil bought one Harry from the store.
I also do own Harry the Hat.
I kind of need to do that now as well. I do really like. So I probably will pick him up at some point. But yeah, like I was saying, the store coverage out here is a bit spotty. Like we have my LGS Comic Quest has some stock. Brookhurst Hobbies, which is the next closest one, really only carried starters, and they have not jumped in on the rest of the line. And then you go down to San Diego, where, you know, you've got At Ease Games down there, and they're carrying everything. And Paradise, which is also North County, San Diego, they're carrying. I believe they also carry the whole line. So there seems to be some correlation between your ability to keep the game stocked and the scene that you're growing.
Yep. Game stores work. And sometimes it is rough, and like I can't speak for difficulties that other people are having, but I haven't had many difficulties keeping it in stock, but we also stock quite a bit deeper than most every other store would, just because, shipping them out.
Would you say that's true of other miniature lines that you carry, or is that mainly true for Guild Ball and a couple of other games?
Pretty true for every game. It all depends on what every game store is going to be different, of course, and some are going to hammer War Machine very hard, so they'll be very wide or very deep War Machine, but they'll never bring in 40K. But then you have another store that's going to be fantastic on 40K that never looks at Guild Ball. So that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Every store has to balance their own stuff, what they're going for, what they can fit in. Store can have a miniatures tournament every weekend, so they tend to just do what they do. And especially in an area like you guys, you have a game store every 5 miles.
Yeah,
that Kalen sent me. I was like, this is absurd. I mean, we have a store that's all of 4 blocks away, but after that, the nearest store is 14 miles away.
Yeah, we have too many stores, you could argue, out here. So
here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Too many stores is all dependent upon population. If you guys have a lot of gamers out there, then you might have the perfect number of stores. If all the stores are doing well, then decide.
That's true. I mean, making sure you
start. And
okay. Let's see. Are you reading as a West Side game store owner of a North Side man riding a polar bear entered your store, would you sell me a pot of Agrax Earthshade?
If you want to come into my store and buy something, I'm going to sell it to you.
Sure. From Canada, to buy a pot of Agrax Earthshade, why not?
I mean, it seems a little far to go for a pot of paint, but hey, you know what? There are people that go to Europe for lunch, so who am I to judge?
Yeah, Adam. I don't know. I think if he had the money, he would do it. Okay. More painting here. So whatever you're doing to set up, do you have any do you want to give us a verbal setup, or you're not there yet?
I'm just about ready. I'm actually just trying to make this camera thing work so I know exactly where I'm looking at, because
okay.
You know what I should probably do is announce instead of the YouTube channel. That way I have more of a immediate I'm doing.
Right.
So do you use a tape measure, or do you use widgets?
I use these days I use mostly widgets.
So
though I do break out the tape measure, so I guess I use both.
So before Guild Ball, I was mostly a tape measure person.
Me too.
But all the fancy word of making some fun ones, like the reach keys, which I have been told have gone over very well out there. It's actually being copied by a couple of people nowadays. So, But what I wanted to talk to you about today is something new that we are doing. Is movement sticks are starting to become popular as well. Stick that had you know what, I forgot my actual set of sticks. Oh, that's funny. So here, I'll just use this one for pick the 30 millimeter one. But the problem with these is you end up to have one for 30 mil, one for 40 mil, one for 50 mil. They're going to take up a lot of area on the table, right?
Right.
So Aaron, in his infinite wisdom of playing with lasers, has come up with something that is really brilliant. and he finally got them set and put out is basically the same thing as a 4-inch movement stick. But here's the fun part. Do you want it for 30 mil or 40 mil or 50 mil? You can use the same stick and just swap the ends, and each of the different end pieces, so you can see these, are different sizes for the different size bases. So instead of having to have 3 sets of them, you just need 1 set. And if you want to set up something for the 40 mils, sorry about this. What did I do with this thing? There it is.
You're breaking up
Sorry.
a bit, but I think we're getting the gist of it.
Sorry, I misplaced a piece and then had to go search for it because I was a little bit disorganized. But one of the things that he put together was these are all magnetized. Stick lengths have their own bridge. They're labeled 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch, all the way up to 9. But the sticks aren't exactly 9 inches tall. There, probably see that much better. And you can put the end for 50 mil on and attach this one, and then this is now a 9-inch move stick for a 50 mil.
That's awesome.
So we're going to be putting these together. These are going to be up on the website here pretty quickly. And here's the best part. We got 7 or 8 new colors in. So we're up to 30 new colors.
Wow.
So there's going to be a lot of variety in the stuff. And really the fun part of this one is like each of these are set so for precision movement, of course, but like specifically in the inch increments. And they go down to 3 inch. So those are even useful for like War Machine for vengeance moves and stuff like that. But you use the same 9-inch stick with the 30 mil pieces, with 30 mil ends for a 30 millimeter base, and the 50 mil ends are much smaller. Because when you put them together, that's where all this, the magic works. New that we came up with it, we'll be putting together and have out pretty soon. And that's actually one of the reasons why I was asking you those cryptic questions about colors a couple days ago.
Oh, yeah.
So
awesome.
Hopefully those will be ready and to be put in the mail here, hopefully by this weekend. I'm not entirely sure exactly when, but they're going to be here very quickly.
Very cool. So, out of curiosity, how many pieces is a full set?
A full set comes with 2 of each start and end piece. Oh, those are backwards. 2 start and end, so you can make 2 sticks for 30 mils, 2 for 40, and 2 for 50. And then a single stick, a single piece for the 3-inch move, and then a bridge piece for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 6, 9 plus 12 is 21 pieces total, and a whole bunch of magnets.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But been talking to a bunch of people, like whether a lot of people still use tape measures. Many people still use all the different movement widgets, and like the movement sticks have actually started becoming popular amongst people we've been talking to. So figure we get them in.
Yeah, for sure. Like I know Dave Blood, he uses precision movement sticks in lieu of a tape measure, and I use widgets. So and I think we're seeing more people, move away from tape measures. So I think that's definitely growing in popularity. And then just like you, it's like I'll use those for Guild Ball, but when I go and play other games, I'm just now conditioned to using that as my measuring method, and so I'll approach the other games the same way.
Yeah,
So that's awesome.
Going to be useful for Mark III for anybody that also plays War Machine. They're pre-measuring as well. And
they're going to pre-measure. Cool.
Yeah, Mark III is coming out at the end of the month. So also the little 1-inch. Do you have a set of the push dodge templates as well, or no?
Does all reach tokens? The reach keys?
These things.
We gave away a bunch of those. I one, but for Kingdom Con and what was the other recent event, we gave away a bunch that you guys had sent over. So a bunch of our players have them. I just on the running organizing side, I don't own any.
So what you're saying is when you play or when you run tournaments, you don't keep prizes moved. So
I generally don't. We try to make sure as many people walk away with something as possible.
Yeah.
So
that's good. That's one of the reasons why I like it. So I'll put one of those in your care package.
Nice. Well, that's great. I really appreciate it. One other thing that like comes to mind with this measuring stick set, like, so I use widgets, and for games like for example Saga uses measuring sticks, and it's cool and all to it's a good tool to use, but one of the issues I have, like when I'm packing stuff up, is sometimes I need to be able to compress the length of a stick. So if I'm playing Saga, which will use like up to a 12-inch stick, it's not, trying to find a place for a 12-inch MDF stick when you've crammed your bag full of all of your other gear. It could end up bending the stick. You could actually end up snapping it. So this is a lot cooler with regards to being able to compress your measuring tool.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about stuff for Saga, because that's not a game that is played very much out here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're expanding our line, so if you have anything that you'd like, let me know. We can talk about it, and I'll put you in contact with Aaron if there's something we can do to fill a need for you, bud.
Our Saga guy is Phil. So Phil, the guy that does the logo stuff and the mat design, he runs an annual Saga tournament down here in August that he's cleverly called Saugust.
Nice.
So he would be the guy that you'd want to talk to about Saga. But yeah, that's another fun game that we play down here.
Is he in the SoCal Guild Ball group?
Yes. Right.
I'll see if I can.
He's very active in that group, so I'm sure. Go down like.
So bad news on the logo.
Okay.
The file was so big that when it shrunk down, almost all the detail was obliterated.
Uh-oh.
So
you need a smaller version of it, like a more compressed version.
Yeah, we'll need to grab a smaller version if you have one.
Oh,
I should have that we may or may not be doing.
Okay, cool. Again, he's the guy that designs those. So you might be able to just reach out to him too and say and see if he has a compressed one for you.
Yeah, I'll pass it on to Aaron to get in contact with him, because also I asked one of my friends who does a lot of traveling what was the best time of year to visit the San Diego, Los Angeles area.
Oh.
Time of the year is perfect. Is that true?
That's pretty much true.
Okay. Like
in the summer, it gets in the summer inland, it gets a little bit warm. Here's my take on the whole thing. And Callan probably get mad at me for saying this. I'm not an LA fan, so I generally try to stay away from LA as much as possible. So like in Orange County, we're like more coastal, and we're the midpoint between LA and San Diego. So so that's how I travel up to LA or down to San Diego. But anyways, the weather in Orange County is pretty much always going to be between 65 to say 80 tops. So it's always going to be just nice and mild like that year round.
Wow.
And then with San Diego and LA, you get a little bit more variant. You may have a few days that get up in the 90s or 100s, but most of the time you're still in that range. You're still like 65 and 85. So it's pretty much always a good time to come out and visit. There's some folks that we work with that are out of Clearwater to have their meeting with us, and they typically come out. Is a little bit of the weather out here. Like anytime we come out, the weather's fine. There's like really no bad time to be out here.
You broke up through some of that, but I got the gist of what you're going for. It's like, remember, I'm in Tampa.
Yeah.
The only reason it wasn't 95 degrees this week is because we had a tropical storm come through that everybody was panicking about. Like 4 inches of rain and then moved on. So.
Yeah, granted, I haven't been to Tampa for probably about 6 years or so, but anytime I'm down in Florida, I like in Miami, the humidity just like murders me down there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You can walk outside into a swamp. So.
Right. So I guess what I'm saying is, yes, you will. The weather out here is ridiculously mild compared to anything that you guys normally see over in Florida. If you are planning a trip out here and you're hoping to do some gaming, the peak times to be out here would probably be between April and July, just because that's the middle of convention season, and that's when people are, and schools out towards the summertime, and so the gaming scene is most active during those times. But I would just say it's pretty active here, no matter what time of year you're out here. So yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you want to go to Comic-Con.
Planning a trip.
What's that?
No, I do not want to go to Comic-Con. That's way too many people.
Yeah. Oh man.
We weren't in a game. We were in a game room for Tampa Bay Comic-Con, and that's 50-ish thousand people. I could not imagine like being in the same area as several 100,000 that also want to be there.
Yeah.
That's too many people for me.
Yeah, I got contacted by Comic-Con today to confirm whether or not we're doing the show this year. Because we do, Play It Painted, we do miniature games at the show. And this year I was pretty dead set on not doing the show. Because like I said, I have another kid on the way. And last year's show was just kind of disjointed. So I was like, I'm going to take a year off or whatever. But then my friend, who does a lot of favors for me, hit me up and said, hey, can you get me tickets for Comic-Con this year? Okay, fine. So I'm doing the show again this year. It's a logistical nightmare to do. It really is. But the at the show itself is really, and it's just surviving and getting into that whole downtown area is 90% of the headache. But a lot of guys, like we get like a rotating group of people in and out from our volunteer group, because it's like, oh, I've never been to Comic-Con, or I haven't been in a number of years, and I'm ready to jump back into the crowd. So they'll brave it for a year, and then next year they'll, maybe think better of it and go, okay, I pretty much saw what I wanted to see last year. So we get a lot of that too. That said, though, I mean, I do think it's like Gen Con. You want to do it. You want to at least go once to something like that, and then. But if you already know you hate crowds, maybe not. Maybe not so much.
Yeah, once they get over a certain size, I just want to try to stay away. Tampa Bay Comic Con is probably the largest thing that convention style thing that I actually want to go to. And
that's like 50,000.
Yeah, I think last year was like 54,000.
Wow.
But that's really. I'm running a gaming room there. It's not like I'm going there to see everything. But we're going to be there for all 3 days running games.
Mm-hmm. So how many? So when you say running games, are you going in with board games, miniature games, card games, like the whole
everything?
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Yeah. Staff of about 20-ish people.
Mm-hmm.
And 10,000 square feet.
And you guys run a booth there as well?
No, we don't have. We actually have a ballroom all to ourselves.
Oh, nice. And you can sell in the ballroom?
Yep, they let us set up full vendor setup, and then we entertain as many people as we can sit down.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm planning a trip at some point. I don't know if I want to wait to come out there until possibility of Kingdom Con next year, but it's still like 10 months away, so I don't know if I wanted to wait that long.
I would say
I'm definitely going somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I would say if you could only come out here once next year, then I would, if I were you, I'd probably wait and go to Kingdom Con. Because that's, it's not a huge show. It's actually good size for a miniature game focused convention, and that's really for the local gaming scene. That's kind of our yearly mecca, is to attend Kingdom Con, and that's where really, if you really want to show up and do some real like gaming, that's the time of year I'd be out here, and that's obviously that's the show I would go to.
Yeah, we have one like that over here. It's called the Crucible, which happens in March. It's a little bit smaller than yours than Kingdom Con is, but still the guys running it are doing some real good work.
Nice. Yeah, the only potential downside to Kingdom Con is it is right around the same time as Adepticon. They're usually about 2 weeks apart. So if you're gonna, that's quite a bit of traveling if you're gonna plan on going to both. But yeah,
I've never traveled for a gaming convention before. I've traveled for other reasons, not for gaming convention.
So no Gen Con, anything like that?
Never been to Gen Con.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of traveling when I was judging Magic.
Oh, okay.
But not to any like major conventions. Like I haven't been to Dragon Con or Origins. Dragon Con also falls in. The crowds are too big for me to go.
Yeah, what's Dragon Con? So is that like 70,000 people?
It's bigger than that. They take over the entire entirety of downtown Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah, the city of Atlanta put in sky bridges because they had to get people off of the street during Dragon Con.
That's kind of awesome. Well, the NerdCon's pulling a lot of money, that's for sure.
Yeah. There's happens to be these things going on called games, which a lot of people are starting to get into, that are gaining in popularity around the world. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the other thing that like one of the other bigger shows out here is Anime Expo, which happens on 4th of July weekend. And I usually try to work 1 or 2 days there for Ninja Division, because that's like the best show for Ninja Division if you consider their product line and that audience. But I don't know. This year I have not jumped into that yet. I don't know. Maybe my wife might murder me if I say, hey, I want to work AX for a day. Actually,
Yeah, we have a.
Oh, go ahead.
No, we have. Months of June, July, and August. There's no traveling for me because of Metro. We do 2 giant conventions. This year are 2 weeks apart, and one of them happens to coincide with a Magic the Gathering set release. So, oof.
Wow. And you think, like, actually, let me ask you this: have you like have you ever looked at Cool Mini or Not, their convention or anything like that?
I actually was talking to the pundit up in Chicago about doing something for Cool Mini or Not this year, and it just fell through.
Mm-hmm.
There are some interesting information there that I would not go through in public. Not about their cons, but just stuff.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But before I had kids, I wanted to try to hit a whole bunch of cons. I think one year I did like 14. That's like the most I've ever done. And these days I'm down to like maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, before the store got so busy that I really couldn't travel much anymore. I went to 2000. I think it was 2011. I ended up judging Worlds 2 Pro Tours and 10 Grand Prix that year. I was just getting on a plane about every 3 weeks.
Wow.
And that was a lot of fun. I missed the traveling, but it was a bit. It got to be a bit much.
Yeah, wear you down a bit. For sure.
I do have the benefit of not having children. However, I do have this store that I'm taking care of, which sometimes does a reasonable facsimile. But I wouldn't give it up.
Yeah. Well, my wife has family in Indiana, so we always talk like when these kids are big enough, we can get back out to Gen Con, because she loved Gen Con. And my wife will not pick up a game at all. Like, she won't pick up and play definitely not a miniatures game. Depending if it's a party or a social game, like Cards Against Humanity or something like that, she'll play that. But I mean, she's not gonna. She's. I guess what I'm saying is she's no gamer by any stretch of the term, and she loved Gen Con.
Sit down to a game of like Steam or Puerto Rico is what you're
saying. Yeah, like she. But she really enjoyed just the cosplay and the whole all the other stuff that you can do at Gen Con. She had a lot.
Conventions are fun.
Yeah, they're just fun. They're fun. They're expensive. The money just comes pouring out of your pockets when you go, but they are fun. So one day I'll get back to it. It's just gotta maybe a couple years or more, depending on.
Well, you have some kids, so obviously in a couple years, you need to expose them to the culture correctly. So that sounds like a very good reason to start getting back into the convention, right?
Yeah.
It's family time.
Sure, yeah. It is family time. Well, that's cool. So you don't have a as far as the product is concerned, the measuring sticks. Mm-hmm. Do you guys have a date as to when those are going to show up on sale or anything like that? Or
I do not. Let me check just to be sure real quick. I don't believe that they're up yet. I think they will be up. Aaron was going to have them up here in a couple of days.
Okay.
We have our basic 30-inch or 30 millimeter movement sticks up already, but not the. Nope. Templates. Nope. Templates either.
well, that'll be cool to have a set of those and show them off here locally and tell people where they can get them.
Yeah, they're not up just yet. I'm pretty sure he wanted to have them up in the next couple of days. The fun part is we started doing our line for Malifaux.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some really cool looking slowed and speed tokens now that are that go off of the snared. I should have had those with me. Aaron's been having some fun making some boots.
Oh, neat.
And then Malifaux tokens are going to be here coming as well. And some other fun stuff that's going on.
That's cool. Yeah, Malifaux. I could totally see you guys making custom sets for Malifaux.
Plan is every game because every game needs some kind of things.
Yeah.
And
do you guys do anything for Infinity?
Not yet. It is on our list of things, list of games to do. Unfortunately, there are quite a few number of games, and only so much time.
Sure. Yeah, Infinity might be an interesting one. I don't know, maybe Batman.
Batman?
Yeah, Batman or the Marvel game. There's templates for that game. It's not much though. They don't use. It's not a very template heavy game. But they have like a flamer template, and I think they use a couple different round templates for that game.
How did I not know about a Batman miniatures game?
Oh wait, you never heard of the Batman miniatures game?
I had not heard of it yet.
Oh wow, yeah, it's by Night Models, and I actually just sold a Batman crew on eBay. It's by Night Models in Spain.
Yeah, I just found their website.
They make they also have a Marvel game, which is cool. Now these games are mechanically they're decent games, but if I'm being completely honest with you, I don't know that those games stand up against a game like Guild Ball on the merit of its rule set. The real appeal behind those games is really just being able to play the IP. Model prices are not cheap for that game, and they're beautiful models. Like the sculptors are great. Some of their what's the word I'm looking for? Their quality control can be spotty. And I don't like the way that they break. I don't like the way that they break the miniatures. I love the way that they sculpt them, but
the joints are weird.
The joints are weird. It's almost what I tell people is think about the quality of metal miniatures circa 2007. Some of the things that they don't have quite the same. They don't have quite the same. I guess the kind of advances that you have in how they do joins these days. So it's got a little bit of an older feel to it, but it's still a quality game. And it's Batman. I mean, that's the main thing. Like, yes, you can play Batman, and you can play many iterations of Batman. You can play Dark Knight Rises Batman. You could play Adam West Batman. You could play animated series Batman. So that's like a big part of the appeal behind that game. it's just a fun, like, it's a super thematic game, and it's kind of like I guess Troy said it best. Like, you're just kind of playing a comic book, and you're watching a comic book unfold as you play the game. So silly stuff can happen.
Yeah.
What's that?
I was just looking through their website, the Marvel Universe miniatures game. These models look gorgeous.
They are. They're fantastic. I nearly picked up an Avengers set this past weekend, and I'm probably gonna fold and do it just so I can paint them. But building them kind of frustrates me, just because, like I said, it's like, it's not that they're horrible, but that there's better ways of doing them. So that's the frustrating part. But they, they do look good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7.
Yeah, where's the white here?
There are 8 different Batman. 9.
Yeah, I still have like a Batman animated series here that I need to paint.
And their tokens, little batarangs. That's nice.
It's almost like that game is equally about collecting as it is just playing the game. You know what I mean?
Oh, so HeroClix.
Sense, but think like super high quality HeroClix.
Yeah. Yeah, these things look gorgeous.
Coming along here. He's getting there. The way I do the armor is it's like white quartz, so it takes a while to build it up. But it's cool.
Yeah, you do some really intricate work on these things. Make me real jealous that I don't have more time to actually get good at painting.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. I don't know. It's because when I first started painting, I really liked painting things white and yellow, which
those colors are awful.
Yeah. So I conditioned myself to painting the worst colors, and now it's like when I look at stuff, I'm like, oh, I should paint that white, or I should paint that yellow.
Yeah, we had a guy who was actually trying to paint. What's the Retribution Colossal? This giant.
I know what you're talking about.
He was trying to paint it white and make it flat white.
Mm-hmm.
And just spent hours on like each shoulder pad trying to get a particular, like, to have an unobstructed white enamel look to the shoulder pads. It was just so frustrating for him.
Oddly enough, I did my short stint with War Machine. That was on my wish list, was to pick up the Ret Colossal, specifically to paint a giant white model like that. I love the Ret, the color scheme.
Yeah, it's white and light blue.
I was like, oh, this looks like glowing toothpaste. I'm down. I'll paint that. And had I ran an Adeptus Ron tier list. Mittens, lots of mittens and Magisters and that kind of stuff. And I was terrible at that game. But I like painting.
I picked up Scorn when I read the Titan Gladiator had the ability to charge for free, or not charge, slam for free, and had follow-up, and then read how slams work, and just decided I wanted to play pinball. And I can't tell you the number of times that I'd actually get in a very bad situation because I was terrible at the game. But then my opponent would line up a heavy jack between my Titan Gladiator and their Warcaster,
mm-hmm.
and just slam the heavy warjack directly over the top of their caster leaving my gladiator with 4 fury just ready to just slam into this warcaster, who's now knocked down because that's how collateral damage works.
Nice.
And got me out of many pinches. Now, by many, it's probably less than 10 because I really didn't have time to play.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did, I was always looking for the let's play game of pinball, and super happy when it worked.
Nice. Now, kind of along those lines, are you able to get in games of Guild Ball lately, or has it been mostly work?
It's been mostly work. I haven't actually played a game in probably 2 months now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been rough. I get in a lot of talking about it because I'm in an absolute ton of groups for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I talk about it constantly, but actual application, not very often.
That's kind of a bummer. I actually get really grumpy when I don't get my weekly gaming in. So it's kind of a mixed blessing because my wife sees me at home, like she says I pout. I'm pouting if I don't get my gaming in, and she'll kick me out of the house. Hey, I don't want to deal with you moody like this. Go out and find a game of something. So
well,
it works.
that's actually pretty fantastic because I've being a store owner for as long as I have heard so many people feel like, well, my wife won't let me play today and stuff. It's like, well, you need to have your hobbies, whether your wife is going to play or not. Like, do your hobbies.
Yeah, like there are some days where it's like, I you can't play today. I need you to do something for me, which is fine. I totally get that. But I appreciate that she knows, and she has seen firsthand that my mental deterioration, certain amount of gaming in that she has to kick me out of the house so that so I can meet the quota here. David, welcome to the feed. Some other comments. Me too. Love Protectorate, but I'm not very good. For really, I guess embraced War Machine the game. I really loved painting it though, and I actually painted a fair bit of the line, both for commissions and just for fun. Painted a bunch of the starters and stuff, but I never really got War Machine, which is weird to be playing Guild Ball now, which is, the similarities are obvious between those two games. I think throwing a ball in it and calling it a sport definitely helped my mindset with this game. So I guess if we were playing War Machine and you threw a ball down, it'd probably be okay in War Machine. But as it stands, was never a very good War Machine player.
Yeah, it sounds like an interesting scenario.
Yeah, warm up. What would you call that? Warm up ball or something. But that's essential.
I'm still waiting for Steamforge to come out with the rules for cricket because it exists in their world. They really should, even if it's just like a 3-page document that they put up on their website, just like, here is cricket in the Guild Ball universe. Even better if it is just the actual rules for cricket. But just because I think that'd be hilarious.
There's also the Impact Miniatures has they have a roller derby game that I've always been interested in. I've always wanted to try that. That sounded interesting. They have miniatures for it. I don't know.
Okay, I'm looking this one up too.
Yeah. I forget what they call it, but yeah, I think you can just find it on the Impact Miniatures website. Let's see. Cameron says, Doppelbach, I've been playing Protectorate since Prime Remix. I will teach you the ways. Yeah, Cameron's been playing Warma Hordes for forever, and I know Menoth was his one of his main factions there for quite a while. I still need to get back down to the IE where Cameron lives, the Inland Empire. Now so Michael, that's one area that does get quite warm in the summertime, but it's dry.
Inland Empire?
Yeah, the Inland Empire is basically the area. If you're imagining California on a map,
yeah,
you've got LA, like I was saying, LA, San Diego, and Orange County are a little more towards the coast. But if you were to draw a line from LA and almost go directly east, you'll hit an area called the Inland Empire or the IE. In that place, that's a little more arid. It's a little more desert climate.
That sounds rough.
It's not that bad. It's not like Palm Springs. Palm Springs and Palm Desert, that's the actual desert. But I grew up in the Inland Empire, so it's definitely, I do not miss the weather there compared to where I'm at now. But it is actually a pretty good place for gaming. They have a decent scene out there for Warma Hordes, 40K. I know Cameron's playing Guild Ball out there and a few other people, but we haven't taken it to, like, we haven't done an official kind of flag planting out there. And I would be down to do it, but I'm trying to curb out of respect for my wife, I'm trying to curb some of my game promotional activity. But I don't know. I still think I'm going to end up going out there and doing it though.
Sounds like a couple of you guys should get out there for a day or two just to do a little promotion and help them out.
Yeah. Now that's what's really cool about our Facebook group too, is you have guys that are willing to travel, that'll just help get a store off its feet, maybe build a local, get some of the local people interested. And so the idea behind that is, if we show up, do an event out there, that hopefully by the end of it, you've got a small core group that can build a group after your event and kind of keep that momentum going. Then ideally you have more people to add, and then with the region being as tight as it is, you have within that group you have a certain percentage of them willing to travel to San Diego or LA or whatever. So that's kind of the idea behind it. Let's see. Blade Wolf 9's hopping on. What's up? If ever in the Northern Virginia area, I recommend Huzzah Hobbies. Yeah, Huzzah Hobbies is that's where what's his name? Bill from Gamers Lounge, right? He games. That's his local shop.
Yep. I am also in the the Guild Ball HR group and the Western Virginia group. So I do know quite a bit about Huzzah Hobbies, and that is actually one of the places that's on the list if I do get up in that area.
Nice. So Doppelbach is saying, I will go, but I'm more of a wooden spoon guy. That's pretty cool.
So the wooden spoon, at least I just learned about the wooden spoon 4 months ago.
Okay.
That is something that has not been that common down here in Tampa, but as the larger tournaments, like in Kings of War grand tournaments and 40K grand tournaments, started hearing about this wooden spoon thing, and one of my guys is real big on getting the wooden spoon. And in all honesty, each of the Guild Ball tournaments that I've played in, I would have received the spoon if I would have been able to play the last round. Unfortunately, store things took me away, and I had to leave the event. And a person with a better record than me was awarded the spoon.
So my first, I never really like Googled where the wooden spoon came from, but my own experience with the wooden spoon was about 20 years ago with with Blood Bowl. That's like playing Blood Bowl tournaments. That was the first experience I've ever had with wooden spoon, and we always thought it was cool. I thought it actually was from Blood Bowl, like it's a halfling thing. But we introduced wooden spoon when we were running Malifaux events locally. We would give out wooden spoons for that. I still have the wooden spoon from the Pip Cup because we just didn't have the showing to necessitate the wooden spoon. So I need to award that wooden spoon before the end of the year. Because it's really cool and it's sitting in my bedroom, and I need to, as much as I want to keep it, I feel like that must be earned.
Yeah.
So
it's just as important as the first place trophy.
I think so. I mean, that the wooden spoon is definitely the guy you want to have a beer with. Like, that's definitely the guy that you want to hang out with afterwards, because he's going to have a lot of tales to tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, and you got to laugh to keep from crying, type, which is, but yeah, I do like the whole concept of the wooden spoon. Let's see. So you're talking about models with bad joints and stuff. What are your thoughts on Cena as a model and as a game piece? Now, I have never worked with the Cena model. I'm still. They have it down here in San Diego. I'm considering buying another Hunter's, like a full roster, and painting it up. So I can't really talk about the model itself. It is, those larger metal models do get a bit intimidating, because you start to worry about, okay, I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of gap filling. The pins that you use are a lot larger. So I don't know. My experience with Guild Ball models has been overwhelmingly positive, though. Including the toe pinning toes in, Mist probably being the biggest defender there. That said, it's still Mr. Let's see, who are like the worst tiptoe models for Guild Ball? I'm gonna say Mist, Snakeskin, because of the big heavy, like kind of how imbalanced the cloak is on that. Who else would I put in there? Honor is Honor's got that tiny little hand, and then she's on a tiptoe also.
Honor's hand and Harmony's head.
Oh yeah, my Harmony was a miscast too, so I painted her like a burn victim.
Oh gee.
Because it's like her her face there's like a big lump of obscured detail on it, and I was like, I could probably contact Steamforge, but I'm just gonna, in the interest of time here, I'm gonna paint around it. Vitriol, yeah, Vitriol's tough, but she
I've seen more Vitriols inverted in a pose mod than I have with their actual foot on the ground.
The regular pose, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with Vitriol. I actually had a harder time with her arms, getting the arms in the right position, because it just seems so awkward. Like, it seems like you feel like you're doing it wrong, like you're physically hurting a person by pinning her arms back that way.
I can tell you, though, there are no models in this game that make me want to hurt someone as much as trying to put together the first set of Scorn Titan Gladiators that I did. I had to use almost a third of a tube of green stuff. Now, granted, was real bad at using green stuff at this time, but used almost a third of a tube of green stuff on the first two Titan Gladiators I put together, because you could actually see light through their joints.
Ooh.
And no model in Guild Ball yet has been as annoying as Morton Nebra's toes. She has 8 of them, and each one are about the size of, I don't know, like the edge of a dime, and they're like 2 millimeters long.
Now, one model that I have not put together for Guild Ball that has my concern is Mainspring. So I'm looking at like engineer models, like Mainspring. What's her name? Velocity's toe attachment. That's another one. It seems like a little cause for concern there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's building the brewers were easy. It's just I'm pretty sure I don't know that, like, I think I put that the mini keg in the wrong spot there. Like, it's just sitting right on her belt. And then then I put one back there. I don't know where to put these, so it's like, well, I'll put that there and worry about it. And then you've got Stave, who has them all over. He's like the Batman. Brew.
Friday's mini kegs go on the back of her hips.
Ow. So they go back there. Can you fit both back there? I guess you could.
You actually. Yeah, they do both fit on basically in the small of her back.
Okay. Well, this was
also,
actively drinking.
If by chance the ones that are on Friday are the same size as the ones that are on Stave, you got them mixed up because Friday's kegs are actually smaller than the others.
No, no, the Staves are that are on Spigot and Hooper. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, thankfully,
so is Esther's are the same size, but she has different.
She has the indents.
Yeah. Let's see. I like the look of most of the plastics, but assembly can be such a pain. Like hard plastics? Are you talking War Machine, like that Restic material? I'm not a fan of the Restic material. I'm glad that most companies are now moving well away from that stuff. When they had it for Relic Knights, that was driving me crazy. Because it's, there's at least you can drop the model and it might bounce a little bit, but the detail quality wasn't great, and just not really a fan of that.
Yeah.
Shoot, I gotta do another layer of white here. But yeah, so like resin models, the resin Guild Ball models are the one that I'm working on right now. Really nice quality. Not having an issue with that.
Yeah, I find the resin models too light.
Too light?
Yeah, I feel like if I tap them, I'm going to knock them over.
Oh, it's game pieces, sure.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the Arena Rex stuff?
I'm going to go with no.
Okay, that's actually really interesting game. It's a gladiatorial combat game that also is made by guys that are fans of Warmahorde. So there's actually some similarities in the mechanics for that game, and that game uses resin miniatures as well, and they're like really, really finely detailed, and they're too fine. So like you're gluing like individual feathers on some of those like Roman hats, and these feathers are paper thin. Like if you breathe on it, the thing will just fly away and you'll never find it.
Wow.
So it's really cool that they have that level of fine detail, but it's also not a good. I agree with you. I don't think that it's the right material for a game that uses so much fine positioning, where you have to keep handling the models. That gets a little scary. But that said, I do like Arena Rex. I think it's a fun game. We actually kind of play it like it's a filler game. So it would be like a filler in between games at Guild Ball, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And the miniatures are fantastic for it. But yeah, there's a game that can also use your measuring stick, actually. Think about it. They use the same. They use 30, 40, and 50, and then they use and they have pushes and repositions and all that kind of stuff too. So there you go. There's another.
You do some research on some miniatures again, because there's a lot.
Yeah.
Apparently, there are a lot more out there that I don't even know about, and unfortunately, I run a store, so I probably should know about these.
Yeah, I've played too many different miniature games. That's what this channel used to be. It was like anytime I was interested in a game, I would buy a couple of starters, paint them up, and then we'd sit down and try to figure out the game and play it that way. And that's kind of how this channel was born. So there's a lot of different games that have been through here.
These models are gorgeous.
They are phenomenal. They're beautiful models. But if you start, like, for example, if you look at Viatrix, I think is her name, and you look at the tiny feathers on the helmets, and consider that those are separate pieces that you need to glue on. That's where things get a little terrifying.
I'm looking because it's all set up by faction.
Yeah, she's in Beatrix is in Ludus Magnus, I believe, is her faction.
Wait, all the two feathers that are on her hat are individual pieces?
They're individual pieces, and they're paper thin. So having to stick those on is very terrifying. And I always have this lion on my desk. And this is Leo from that range, and he never made it into any of my like storage kits because he's just kind of a weird pose. So he just hangs out on my desk. He'd make a cool hunter's goal because he is on a 50. Like you could, and he's like chained to the goal, so he might make it cool.
Yeah, but if you kick a goal, you're gonna get the ball back.
Yeah. But yeah, that's another game. I think that game is too small to ever really get much of a following, at least currently. But yeah, there's a group of us out here that plays it.
Looks like they have an Egyptian faction too. So.
Oh yeah, that's fun. The Morituri, I think. Yeah, and they have like these. They all have special abilities that occur when they die. So when you take them out, yeah, they all get to do like some weird like superpower thing before they're done. What I really like about that game though is if you could play quick multi that would take you about half an hour. So you could play like up to 4 players, and you give everybody say 2 or 3 gladiators a piece, and you're done in 30 minutes. We used to actually brought that game to a bar and taught people how to play. at one of these events called Geek Meet, where it's like a cosplay, speed dating type thing. Basically a miniature nerd convention at a bar. And so, I'd bring miniature games to the bar and teach people miniature games. That's a fun one because it's, people see gladiators and spike pits and stuff and lions, and they want to know what's going on there.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty decent table presence and something that can be packed up pretty small. So.
Mm-hmm. And that I think that company, Red Republic, they're out of Texas. You have in Florida, there's a company that makes a game called Deep Wars, which is a really, really cool looking game, but I could never really dive into that one.
This is another one that I have never heard.
But yeah, the creator of the game is in Florida. It's an underwater skirmish game. And it, like the whole setup and the world setting and the fluff is fantastic. And the designer, you could tell he's really, really into diving and the mechanics around he really spent a lot of time considering underwater combat, which is great, but it ends up being such a it ends up being such an involved game that unfortunately for me it ate up too much of my bandwidth. I like playing 4 to 6 different systems. Mm-hmm. So that one was like, okay, I'm gonna wait. Hopefully he'll come out with a more streamlined version of it. But the models are really neat. Just the undersea creatures for that game are just really cool. Let's see, what game was that from? I'm gonna get that lion model for my hunter goal. Yeah, it's called Arena Rex by Red Republic Games. It's not a cheap model though, because it is a resin model, so just be aware of that. Oh, I want to show you. I'm going to grab something real quick. Hold on, because I want to show this off because I think it's cool. 1 second.
That model's name is Leo, and it is $30 from their web store.
So if we're talking gold design, I was browsing around the local shop here that has a lot of old stock. And if you remember a company called Epicast or Armorcast, I think.
Yep.
They did resin miniatures and terrain. And I found a set of these, these are like the Easter Island statues.
Oh, jeez!
But they've got the rivets in them, so it's like a metal head. And then here's a more almost a more steampunk one. So he's got the optics, and this one's got pipes coming out of it, and it's got a crumpled chimney there. So this will fit on a 50 mil base. So that would make a really cool. Let me pan up. That would make a fantastic. Really like engineer's goal, right? So I picked up
or masons.
What was that?
Or masons.
Or masons, yeah, I guess so. I guess that could be.
Well, the first one. So.
Oh, that's true, huh? I hadn't thought about that. Huh. I might have to do that. Interesting. Has the new game been announced yet? Okay. Did I I said Armada Games reveal. So it's not a new
Oh.
game. It's a new item, Troy. And we announced that like almost an hour ago. But yeah, we'll have Michael show it off here again.
Yeah, I'm pulling them out real quick.
I'm really excited for this. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Sorry, a bunch of pieces to put together. This thing. It's down a little bit. Backwards. Yeah, we were talking about movement sticks and widgets and stuff, and what people use to measure for the game. And we came up with a set of movement sticks instead of needing one for a set of sticks for a 30 mil model, a set of sticks for 40 mil, and a set of sticks for 50s. Is a magnetized system of, oh, and by the way, these are 30 millimeters wide. So they're good for ball path checking. And also whether or not smaller models can fit. But each of the sticks are magnetized. So you have the 30 mil start and the 40 mil start, and you apply them to the 4-inch or 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9-inch bridge pieces. And then you have a full set of precision movement sticks for each of the different base sizes for whichever size you're or distance you're looking to send them. And those should be available hopefully within the next couple of days through our website.
Are you making
yeah. It's a bit late over here, so my brain is starting to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's late over here, so it's got to be really
It's
tough.
2:00 right now.
Yeah.
And as you can see, I'm at the store, so I still have to drive home.
Oh, geez. Can you hold that up when you get a chance so we can have a look at it again?
Oh, all right. I keep going back and forth between the YouTube and the actual Hangout. So
okay,
there we go. So these are the different sticks, and each one are magnetized for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are the different bridge pieces. And then with the 40 mil starts, each of the different measurements along the edge, by the way, are from where this actually nests in. So the measurement from here, if you wanted to only move them, say, 4 inches, you could use this, put it right at the front, and then move them to the 4-inch mark here, and only move it 4 inches as well. The fun part is each of these sticks are just under 2 inches shorter than what the actual number says. So Aaron went ahead and put the measurement sticks along the edge just to fill in for that as well, because makes it use them as the sticks with or without the end pieces. And each set's going to come with 2 sets of start and end pieces for each of the different movement sizes or base sizes.
that's really nice. That's you guys have basically the one stick to rule them all here. For
Yep.
It's like I was saying, I carry I use widgets, and then I also have a tape measure on me, and then I actually have other like templates that I use as well. But that's going to cover.
Let me go grab something real quick. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Because I painted up my circle more towards Maui Warriors tribe, but for hunters, that head would be amazing. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think you'd ever, maybe you could find it on eBay. But I believe these are made by ArmorCast or Epicast. And I mean, they came in this weird, like, plastic baggie, and it had like no description on it. So and with how old and crumpled up the bag was, I had to kind of feel around to get to what was in there, because I'm like, whatever's in here looks really interesting. So I ended up kind of feeling around for that. I'm just giving this I'm going to dinge up the browns here.
Sorry for that. You take the thing out of the packaging, so I can show it to you. Show it off proper. You mentioned the movement sticks that you use. Okay. I want to show you this thing, which probably for a game you don't play, but very similar to what you were looking for. No, for space to fill in for a, what do you say? It was a 12-inch movement stick.
Yeah. Yeah, Saga only uses like four different standard ranges.
Oh, you were breaking up. I didn't understand what you said.
Yeah, there's only 4 different ranges in Saga. So I think it's 12, 6, 4, and 2.
That's actually fairly convenient. Those numbers divide well. So. Did you ever play X-Wing?
Very, very briefly. Actually, I'll put it. I played like 3 or 4 demos of it, but I would say that I've never actually like played a full game of it.
Well, so this is the range stick, right? This giant thing. Well, one of the things Aaron did was, instead of having this giant thing that I don't even know how long this thing is. It's over 10 inches. Range 1, range 2, range 3. So this is probably something we could do for Saga if you're looking for, especially if it's 2, 4, and 6 inches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, and 12 inches. Is do something like this as well, which would be like a 2-inch or 2, 4, and then like a 6-inch extender, and then a 12-inch extender. So that it would, when you're done with your game, it does this, and is this big.
Yeah, it just folds down. Yeah, and that's exactly what I was kind of complaining about earlier. Like, yeah, it's cool that you only need 4 sticks, but the official Saga sticks are MDF sticks, and then you try to cram it in your bag, and they're going to get bent and snap, or you have issues with that. What I would recommend is, are you part of the SoCal tabletop group, Michael?
I don't think so.
So if you want, I can add you to that group, and you can share, like, post some photos of that template, because that group, that's a much larger group. It's like 1,300 something members.
Wow.
And that's kind of our hub group. Essentially, that's my group, right? So no matter what game you're playing, we'll post about local events and stuff for all kinds of games, like X-Wing, Saga, all those games we were talking about. They'll post like local events, but there are also a number of manufacturers and shops and stuff. And like that, what you just showed me would be fantastic to share there, because there's a bunch of X-Wing guys, you've got Saga guys. So I think they'd get really excited about that type of tool. So I'll add you to that group, because definitely they would want to see that.
Sweet. Are you an admin in that one as well, or?
Yeah, I own that. I own that group.
Sweet.
Because I play like 100 games, so. In fact, let me do that right now. Where? Let's see. And the weird thing is, that group right now is not as active as our Guild Ball group, but like I said, you get a lot of exposure. And you'll see a lot of the names are the
same, at least amongst the Guild Ball players.
Like a lot of the, yeah. There's kind of like in SoCal, there's some folks that are just really, really active gamers, and so you'll see them on a bunch of, you'll see their activity on a bunch of different SoCal gaming groups. Okay. So like you got a Kylo Glenn post there at the very top of that group right now.
I went ahead and added Aaron as well.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because he's going to be the one that I'm going to direct a bunch of this to, as far as the actual like brains behind the laser work stuff.
Yeah, and
the first post is from Arena Rex.
Yep. But yeah, that's a good place to get more exposure around your guys' new products, especially the ones that can apply to a bunch of different games.
Yeah, that's you know what, I still didn't even, I went up front and I did not grab those new templates that we did. The new hindered and hindered and fast movement templates. They're pretty cool little boots.
Okay.
And there is something all over this template. Should have grabbed those when I went up front. I did grab our trap tokens though, because these things are fantastic. You know, all the hunters come. The hunters come with the trap things. The trap. Have the trap. The hunter models that have the traps come with the trap bases.
Mm-hmm.
Since everything that we're doing is about making it quicker and being able to get through the game easier, Aaron added the 1-inch area, or the 1-inch trigger area.
Yeah.
To our trap templates.
So you don't have to measure if you're going to trigger the trap or not.
If you touch the template, you're going to do it.
Yep. That's awesome.
There's a bunch of stuff going on right now that Aaron is working on, and all of it fantastic. So.
Mm-hmm. I am nearly done with Flint here. Wait a minute. Is that that's the wrong base color. Uh-oh.
Blade Wolf. That actually sounds like a fantastic paint scheme for the hunters.
The
Maori tribe warriors.
Yeah. Okay. Wait a minute. That's not. I just can't for the life of me remember what my actual, because I paint the guild color on the lip of the base, and I don't think that's my. I'm trying to remember. Is that my Mason's color, or is this the Mason's color? That's way too bright blue. I don't think I use that bright of a blue. I think it's like a mix of these, or I think what I ended up doing was mixing black gray into that. It's dumb that I would use a mix though, but I would do that. Knowing me, I would do that, and then not remember that that's what I did.
I so want to start painting stuff.
Yeah, I took a little bit of a break, a short break, around my birthday, but like for me, a break is like 3 days without painting. Like, man, I haven't painted in 3 days. This is awful.
Yeah, a painting break for me is more like 6 months.
Yeah, I don't know if I could hang with that.
You can probably hang with it. You probably won't be too happy about it.
Yeah, I've gone 7 days without painting. I think that's one of the longest stints that I've gone through. If you were to count like the old 40K days when I left the game for a couple years, then yeah, I've gone.
That's different. Taking a break from a game and taking a break from painting for a game you're active in, a little different.
Like those were the days when the only miniature game around was 40K. So if you quit 40K, you basically quit gaming.
I remember we started playing 40K in 3rd edition.
Mm-hmm.
And funny, I think I actually have more painted Space Wolves than I do still of Scorn.
Okay, I think that's the color. That looks correct. Ended up mixing. I mixed like 6 different blues together, but yes, that's the color. Okay, good.
What did you do for the base? The stones.
This is actually a secret weapon base, but most of the time I'm using a base stamp. Like I use Happy Seppuku base stamps.
Base stamps?
Yeah, like they're like these rubber stamps, and you put you can put milliput down. Here's a really nice like flagstone. Like a lot of the flagstone bases and stuff that you see that I painted are that. This one I got really lazy on and said I'll just use one of these. I had one of these secret weapon bases lying around.
So you just put down a little modeling putty and roll a particular section of that onto the base?
Yep, and you just stamp it down and you mix up the putty, let the putty almost get to a point where it's not so sticky, and then you can stamp it. Here, I'll show you a couple of the ones that I've recently done. So like there's like that metal plating.
Yep.
And then so here's the cobblestone.
Oh, nice.
God, that's a lot. That's gonna be a lot of tartan.
Yep. Esther's, for being such a short lady, does have a lot of cloth on her.
That's a lot of tartan to paint. But yeah, love the, and they're super cheap. So these are they're like $5 a stamp. So I have 5 different patterns, and that they're pretty much a broad enough range to cover anything. Like here's a wood planking, like if you're going to do fishermen or anything like that. The one that I wasn't 100% sure on was I got this forest floor one, which looks, I mean, it doesn't look very impressive, but when you get in and look at it, like you've got leaf patterns, this is a tree stump here, you got vines. It's actually pretty cool. But yeah, that's like an economical way to handle your basing. So, okay, well, looks like I'm done with Flint. So he doesn't look very good on camera here.
A little bit blurry right now.
Yeah, I need to focus. Come on, focus. Eh. Sometimes it. There you go.
There it is.
A little bit of Flint there. He's fine. We'll get him out on the field. I'm sure he'll miss his first couple of goals, and then after that, he'll be good.
So, tournament on Saturday had 2 Masons players. Both of them lost in round 1. Both of them missing at least 2 goals with Flint.
Oh, bad day for Flint.
Yeah. One of our guys, I don't know what happened, but his Flint is notorious for as many ones as possible. Like, you like get the bonus time and get like however he does it, rolling like 6 or 12 or I don't know. He could roll 35 dice, and you can miss a goal.
Yeah. When you miss like that 5-die goal, that's like that's the worst. You can get honor to 6 dice on a goal.
Yep.
And I haven't missed one of those, but I did miss a 5-die goal before. That was there were some real tears involved there.
Yeah, that's about the time you start thinking about retiring a model.
But then, you'll have that game where you score a goal with Fangtooth, and then, it makes up for it. Or Scum.
I have won a game with a goal kick from Scum.
Isn't Scum like what is he, like a 1-4?
It's either 1-4 or 2-4.
But you can, you got football legend on Spigot, right? So.
Well, if you're playing Spigot, and I tend to not play Spigot.
Oh.
Scum's a 1-4.
A 2-5 goal on a mascot, pretty awesome. I had a game where marbles, and granted, marbles is amazing, but I've had a game where marbles got a takeout and a goal in the same game.
I can tell you straight up, the only reason that I own Masons is because I really wanted to play marbles. And then I realized that nothing about the Masons fit my play style, so I picked up Brewers.
Oh. That's a bummer.
Yeah. I actually bought Harry the Hat because he has Goad and Molotov, and Goad was actually the reason why I wanted to play marbles. And then I looked at Harry the Hat, and I haven't fielded him yet.
Not that it's a good enough reason, but you could bag of coffers him to get the bonus time on Goad.
Oh,
for free.
Well, yes, you are able to do that.
But considering all the phenomenally better things you could be doing with bag of coffers, it's like, definitely not worth it.
Like putting it on any other model.
Yeah, you could put it on any other model, except for Rage. But yeah, it's gonna do so much better. What I like bag of coffers on is with Union is when I'm running Minx and I want to get Minx. My first choice would be 1,000 cuts for a bag of coffers because that's 4 dice for 1,000 cuts, which is amazing.
Like -1 defense and something else, right?
Yeah, bag of coffers is brilliant for 1,000 cuts, but you could also do it on stuff like Mark Target, which are good like 1-die plays. But and a lot of people don't play off of that for Minx, Minx is great for that that Mark Target. Let's see, what style of play would you say Masons are? I never played them. Wow, how much time do we have? I need to go to bed soon.
Oh God, that's a very long discussion. Masons actually can play anywhere on the spectrum, from kicking to beating that they actually want to be.
Yeah.
But it's just it's not so much like their play style as the interactions of the models didn't fit with how I like to play. It's actually one of the reasons why I hate Scum so much. Is Masons get their true power really from auras. You want to have certain models next to other models for as much of the game as possible. And that's just not how I'd like to play. So that's why they don't fit my particular play style.
Right. And it does leave you very, very vulnerable to character plays. Just having all of your guys within that proximity. What I tell people is Masons are obsessed with their spacing.
Yes.
You have to pay very close attention to your spacing and making sure you have the right models near the, just like you said. And that's true no matter which of the captains you're playing. You're still concerned about the spacing of the models. Right. It's just what that particular captain, how that particular captain uses the spacing is going to be different.
Yes, like I picked up Brewers after realizing that Masons really didn't fit me, and looking at the Masons, a expertly placed lob barrel can completely wreck a Masons player's day for the turn.
I believe.
But it's like the Harmony, like even before season 2 came out, Harmony is okay by herself, but if she's within 4 inches of honor, 6 inches, whatever the range is where she gets to take honor's tack,
it's 4.
She becomes a super powerful model. But if you happen to get them just far enough away, or you kick honor away from where you want your opponent wants Harmony to be, then Harmony becomes the okay model. So you end up like you mess with the placement a lot, which is all what Brewers do.
Yeah.
And the Masons just depower every single model, and then you're really fighting from behind.
Right, and I would say the scariest matchups for me playing Masons are going to be Morticians and Brewers because of their ability to screw up your spacing. Alchemists are you think Alchemists would be a bad one too, but against Alchemists, I kind of just accept the condition game and try to score my points before everyone dies.
Here's what I learned playing against Alchemists. Don't spend the momentum to get rid of poison or bleed by themselves. When you start getting poison or bleed and something else, that's when you start spending momentum. Otherwise, you will never have enough momentum to do anything. But yeah, that's basically where I was at on the Masons. And they're the Morticians, like Obulus can make Harmony, can make Honor move 7 inches away from where their opponent wants their Honor to be.
Yeah, it's 6 inches. Yeah,
6 inches. 6 inches. So it's like your placement is very important with the Masons, and the Brewers and Morticians are very good at making sure that your placement is not optimal.
Right. But yeah, that's a whole show we could do on that.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, it is very, very late. It's almost 2:30 there for you. It's 11:30 for me.
Yep.
So I am. So we're gonna shut down the feed. Besides, Flint is done here. I just need to seal him, and then I'll get him out on the field. But any final comments here before we shut down?
No, just thanks for putting us on. I do my best to watch every week. Sometimes I fall asleep early. Sometimes I'm just driving home. But I'll try to join you on a little bit more often because I enjoy this kind of thing.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you hopping on. And again, those tools look really cool. I can't wait to show those off locally because I'm sure we can drum up quite a bit of interest for them.
Yep. That is one of the goals. And you guys, oh geez, I just realized that the Warhammer 40K sign is actually behind this one or above this window behind me. And you guys keep doing what you're doing. The SoCal Guild Ball group was the first one of the regional groups that I joined for not where I live, and still one of my favorite groups.
Awesome. And we try to keep it fun. So cool. So I think that's it. Thanks, Michael and Octave. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. So that's going to do it for this video. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.